I'll start with a poem. It's quite a new poem. It's entitled "Separating from My 11-Year Relationship and the Father of My 2 Children, ages 2 and 8." Yes. "I'm thinking about separating," I said. "Oh, okay," he said. My children are actually 3 and 9 now, but 2 and 8 sounds better, doesn't it? Kind of, don't you think? So that's the level of my poetry. That's as good as it gets, kind of thing. But I have been doing poetry for 6.5 years, and in the trade, we call it when we become successful. One's shit turns into gold. And mine's turned into gold, and I won an Olympic commission for the Cultural Olympiad, £5,000. What do you think? And I filled in the form saying I was going to do a wonderful swim-a-thon poetry thing, maybe in a swimming pool, and they gave me the money, and I've spent the money, and I've written a poem which I will perform at the South Bank in July, a very big occasion. And I've entitled the poem £500 a line. And I don't mean a very expensive line of cocaine, because that's what it's worth. So I was thinking I'll read the poem out, and then we'll just kind of sit in silence for the rest of the show and see what happens. What do you think? Well, I'll read you the poem. It's very, very new. I've only just wrote it. It has to include the Olympics, culture, and disability, because I do a lot of work in disability arts. So it's got to incorporate all those. So I'm just going to read it. Am I allowed to swear in this school? Yeah. Am I allowed to use a swear word? Okay. You're not filming it for children? Okay. Comfortably. I complained about his diction. But I loved his stroke. He was paralysed right down his right side. He could do double with his left. With slurred speech, he told me to fuck off about my complaint about his diction. And we walked through Peckham Rye Park. I hate walking. He loves walking with 3-pronged stick, like Jake the Peg. Diddle, 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 dee. I could sing that, couldn't I? What do you think? Maybe. Hung to the left. It was a full moon. We fucked on the bowling green comfortably. So that's it. I think that'd be all right. Bowling's probably a Olympic sport, isn't it? And I'm sure there'll be lots of complaints about the Olympics. Anyway, that went down well. I'm quite pleased about that. Thank you. I didn't know what I was going to perform tonight, and I still don't. I'm just kind of winging it a bit. Not that I don't care, because I do. Well, I don't. This one's entitled CSE Typing. The quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog. The quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. I am typing at a speed of 60 words per minute. However, with the mistakes, you take off 1 per mistake, semicolon. That means I'm actually typing at a speed of 45 words per minute. In 19... 80, you could get a job in the civil service with this typing speed. However, in the interview, they asked me what other buildings in the street belong to the civil service. I said telephone house. That was wrong, comma. That belonged to British Telecom. My cousin, however, did very well in the civil service until the censorship some years ago, and it all went tits up, so did his relationship. But that didn't matter because he said they didn't share the same sense of humour anyway. This is an old hit, actually. I haven't done this one for ages, but not because it's anything to do with old. Okay, this one's entitled Shopping at Sainsbury's with a Small Child. I put him on the Bob the Builder ride. I inserted £20 in 50p pences into the slot. Thank you very much. This is the point of my set where I try to flog my merchandise. I've left the CD over there. I've got CDs which are 31 tracks recorded in, I think, 4 or 5 hours, 4 maybe. Put a lot of work into that. They're £5, and then my book, Tales in the Deep End, which again is only £5. And I'll read you some of the books sell very well. The post office, actually, I've worked out a way of, what happened, one got lost in the post, and I didn't realise you don't actually need proof. If you lose something in the post, you don't need proof that it was sent. You just go in and there's a yellow form you fill in. So at the back where it put the price, I wrote down $9.99 as opposed to the real price, which is $5.99, and they sent me a cheque for $9.99 in the post. So now every time I go past the post office, I pick up a form, fill it in, and I'm selling a lot of books, but not actually getting rid of them. So it's working wondrously. So I'm just going to read a few from the book to try and... I'm sounding very monotone, aren't I? I'll try and liven myself up a bit. It's the parasite. Hello, Petersfield. So there we are. Try and be happy. Be happy, person. This one's entitled My Third Eyebrow. I plucked it out. It grew back. I plucked it out once a week for 14 years. Then I plucked it out. It never came back. I miss him now. Takes a while, doesn't it, sometimes?